You are now listening to Killing the Void with Andrew Parks, a podcast series.
Killing the Void podcast. I'm Andrew Parks, and my guest speaker today is Jay. That's his nickname, and we'll keep it at that. So, Jay, I was looking for people to be on my show. I'm just starting out. You're going to be my episode number 19, and I'm very grateful that you responded to me on Reddit. And so a few others have too, so I'm pretty happy about that. You have a pretty interesting background story. You came over to the United States from, where is it, Mexico?
Yes, deep South Mexico. Talking like rural Mexico, Acapulco. If you guys know where that's at.
I've heard of Acapulco, but I've never been there. My parents or my stepdad, or my father, my blood father, is from Mexico. My mom's from here, but I think my dad came from somewhere near Mexico City. So.
Oh yeah. It's pretty stark difference between Mexico City and Acapulco, but overall, just it used to be a nice area. Just it all went to. Can we curse?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. It all went to shit.
How old were you when you came over?
It depends. Initially, I was when I first came over to the U.S., I was about 6 months old, and then I went back to Mexico and had to cross again at the age of 7, and it was quite an interesting ride.
Well, before we get into that, I want to know more about Acapulco. Do you still go and visit? Like, what's it like? You said it's rural. So explain that to me. Like, what do they grow there? I know, like, the tortillas are different in Mexico. Some do flour, some do corn, some do both.
It's the Acapulco. That's the main city, but I grew up in the suburbs of it. It was pretty like any other farm town you see in America. Except more poor people, and it's an overall nice area. If you're from Mexico, I mean, if you're white, I would not recommend going over there.
Well, what does it look like? Does it just a bunch of farm trees, like corn? I don't know how to picture it in my head.
Acapulco, it's like Miami, I guess. And then if you venture out just 5 minutes out of there, you're in like Podunk town. Some country that you probably don't want to be anywhere near. It's pretty bad. But as long as you stay in the center, it's all good.
Is there a lot of crime out there because people are more poor, or is they pretty nice to each other?
Yeah, there's a lot of crime. I think ever since 2010, I think the cartels, I think they've taken over the town. I think recently there was a shooting on a police station just on broad daylight. A couple of gunmen jumped out of a truck and just shot up that police station or whatever.
Wow, so that's pretty fucking scary, dude. Like, you're just there for winter break visiting your family. That shit's going on.
I don't visit Mexico, so I just tend to stay away from that place. Ever since it went to shit. It went to the shits.
Yeah, so explain to me a little bit what it was like crossing over at the age of 7. That had to be a huge ordeal, kind of scary.
Yeah, when I first heard about it, it was because my dad said, we got to go back. We don't have any money. We're struggling over here. We got to go back. And I'm like, at this time, I knew that we can't just cross over. So I knew we were going to do some weird shit to get over. So we hop on a train. That train took us about 3 days to get to, I think it was Laredo. The opposite town would be Nuevo Laredo in Mexico. Took us 3 days to get there. We wait for a couple of days there in the town, pretty much out in the streets. And then we, half of my family crosses the river, hopping over a fence, and I guess me and my younger siblings managed to sneak in, just by driving through the border, because back then it wasn't strict.
Oh, wow.
Back then the guards, they flash over the light, and if you were a kid, they just let you pass through.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that. Well, I'm glad you didn't have to go through the river because even if you're a good swimmer at the age of 7, it's still dangerous.
Yeah, like when I was 7 months old, my dad always tells me the story. It's like when I was 7 months old, he had to strap me on his back, and he actually swam the river with me on the back and on his back.
Oh my god, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, and he never lets it down too. It's like I owe him.
Shit. Wow, that's pretty impressive. I get why people are coming to the United States. My grandfather came over here as a bracero. Do you know what those are?
No.
During World War II, all the men were out fighting, and they needed farm workers and people like construction workers. So they started a program called the braceros, and they would hire Mexicans, and they'd come over here legally, and they'd eventually get their green card and become citizens. And so my grandfather came over on that, and he was really lucky because he got into a bar fight, and the other guy died, and he was in jail, and I guess the cop or whoever was in charge of that jail, he basically gave my grandfather the option. He said, hey, there's this program. If you stay here, you're probably going to be in jail for the rest of your life, or you might be killed. So you should take up this bracero program. So he did it, and his family did all the better for it. But you're kind of like your story, he had to kind of bring my father and his siblings and my grandma over illegally at first, and then he sent them back until they could get their paperwork, and then they kind of came 2 at a time legally. But
yep. I had to do that at the age of 13, I think. That's when I officially got my green card. We went back to Tijuana. That was at the height of the where Tijuana was going through the war on drugs.
Oh wow!
Spent some time in Tijuana waiting for my green card.
So you guys were on a waiting list then?
Yes.
Gotcha. How long does that take nowadays? Well, obviously
nowadays, so it used to be a year, but nowadays I'm hearing from other family members that they haven't even given them a timeline. So it's rough out there for them, but just gotta be patient.
Yeah, you can't even marry someone over here now and become a citizen. It's like you can marry him over here, but you can only stay until your visa expires and you have to go back.
Yeah, one of my friends is married to an illegal, and he has to wait 10 years in Mexico for him to even apply for a green card, even though he's married to an American.
10 years? Jesus.
Yeah, he did get that letter saying he has to wait 10 years. Well, he did cross the border illegally, and he was caught twice, so yeah, that's probably why.
So when you came here, I think most Mexican families, they embrace the American culture. Obviously they have their side cultures on the side, so they'll visit Mexican markets and butcher shops and stuff like that. But that's to everybody's standard. Chinese visit their Chinese places, and Arabs visit their Arab places. But did your family kind of blend in pretty well? My family did with the Americans.
My family did not blend in really well. I mean, they didn't learn, to speak English. I think my dad still doesn't know how to speak English after all these years. So I'm kind of like their human translator when it comes to some of the basic stuff. Me, on the other hand, I picked up English pretty quickly.
Yeah, dude, your English is fucking damn near perfect.
Yeah, I think so. Considering that I went to English as a second language at the age of 13, trying to learn it, trying to blend in with the kids in middle school and high school. So other than that, my dad, he didn't change his ways. He still speaks Spanish. Only hangs out at Mexican, neighborhoods and fiestas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for me, I hardly go to those functions and stuff.
Yeah, my grandfather, I guess, he was the only. Or my grandfather and my grandmother, they never fully learned English, but they could understand it pretty well. They just never learned to speak it, I guess, too well. only a few words here and there. But they were mostly just like, farm workers and stuff. Is that the same with your family too? Like field workers?
No, they kind of like did that farm stuff in Mexico, and they were kind of tired of it. It's hard work,
Hell yeah.
Farmer and going out there in the sun, baking all day. So they got nice little janitorial jobs here in the city, in the Fort Worth area. So it's pretty nice compared to what the situation they were in Mexico.
Yeah, it's actually pretty decent money. My mom was a house cleaner for like 20 years, and she also cleaned office buildings. And it was actually pretty decent money that she made.
Yeah, I mean, for a Mexican family, they can definitely stretch out $1 compared to, I guess, people that are used to living, middle income and stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little bit different lifestyles between, white people and Mexicans and illegals and legals.
Yeah, I'm like that because, like, I grew up on Mexican food, and now I go to restaurants, I'm like, oh, this isn't real Mexican food. Because I'm used to my grandparents, like, pulling out all the beans, all the rice, and, in its purest form, and then cooking big bulk meals and, making tortillas,
Oh yeah.
Now all the tortillas are fake. They're all like factory made and have this fucking processed taste to it.
Yeah, my dad won't even go near those prepackaged tortillas. He has to have them handmade. He's really picky on that too.
Before we get into your career, the one thing that always I love my Mexican culture. But the one thing that always pissed me off growing up in school was there would be some Mexicans that would come over and their family, came over on good intentions, trying to give their family a better life like your father did for you. And these kids take it for granted. They become gangsters and they're always flying the Mexican flag, which is okay to have your heritage, be proud of where you come from. But they absolutely hated the United States. And I see this often in Muslim cultures too, where they come to the United States for a better life and yet they hate America. It's like, why are you even here? Like, dude, what the fuck? Did you ever run across that growing up? Were you happy to be here?
I didn't experience it personally. I know my family didn't because, my dad did he was pretty blunt with us, he told us when we were young, 8, 9, he told us, you want to go back to Mexico and start picking trash, that's on you. Or you can, make a life here in the U.S., get your education, join the military, they'll pay for it. Because my dad had been, talking to family members that were recruiters in the military. I got a big family and my dad knows people and whatever. So yeah, he was pretty blunt with us. There's nothing in Mexico for us. So be proud that you're, here in America and do the best you can. I have encountered with Mexicans that are, usually flying their flags and being all proud and, kind of hating it here. But they don't remember what it's like to be in Mexico or they've never been to Mexico.
I get you.
It's pretty bad. I still remember, and I was 7 years old when I left. I was scarred for life.
Yeah. No, dude, it sounds like your dad raised you the right way.
Yeah, a couple of belt whippings, and he was pretty strict, but he was truthful, blunt. I liked it. Raised me good.
Yeah. So right out of high school, you joined the Air Force. Is that what happened?
Yes, what happened was we had become legalized. My dad had a nice, savings for us to go to college, but he gave it to my older brother.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, so usually it goes that the middle child gets rejected, and I unfortunately am the middle child of the family. So my older brother got all the college funds, and my dad talked to me privately, and he said, we don't have any money for you to go to school. So, like I told you before, I think military is the best option. And, and then he told me the one quote that I'll never forget it. And it's that, someone in the family has to fall on their sword so everyone else can move forward. And I was like, are you talking to me? Am I supposed to follow my sword? Oh, God. So, yeah, I mean, it was a good option. I don't regret signing up.
I guess that makes sense, right? Like, you have a good education in the military, a good work experience, and if you were to raise kids, you sacrifice for your kids so that they could have a better life.
Yeah.
Are you still in the Air Force?
Yeah, I transferred over to the Air Guard because I want to finish my education before my dad gets too old to go to my graduation or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, after 8 years of active duty, I was like, okay, I think it's time. I got enough money. I've traveled enough, so I think it's time to settle down.
So tell me, because I hear a lot about boot camp, like for people in the Army or the Army Rangers. What's it like in the Air Force? Is it more mental than physical?
Well, in 2011, that's when I went through, and it was physical and mental. When I first got there, there were drill instructors came into the bus, started yelling at me. There was like 4 of them, all crowded in that little area yelling at me because I wasn't picking up my bags fast enough. For like 20 minutes, I was just getting yelled at mentally, getting harassed, bullied, whatever. And then they all took us out of the bus and whatever, and make us do push-ups because we were so slow. Pretty much it was tough. It was just tough the first day, man. It was something else.
Was there a lot of people like crying and then they're like, "Oh, we want to go home"?
Oh man, yeah. We had one guy here. He was like 32 years old. He just, he met the age limit. He was at the age limit where they wouldn't accept him anymore. We called him Father Time because he was just so old. So Father Time, bless his heart, he had drunk 2 canteens of water because I guess he heard that they weren't going to drink water for a while. So he had drunk 2 canteens of water, which is like 32 ounces each.
Yeah.
And then the MTI instructor tells us again to drink another one. He forced down a 3rd canteen of water in like less than 10 minutes. So we're all chugging, and that's his 3rd. This is my 1st one, so I'm okay. And I look over, and he's just swaying back and forth like he's about to pass out.
Oh shit!
And I'm like, okay, this guy is about to, he's about to croak. He's about to croak. And then I looked over again at him, and if you've ever seen Squirtle use his water attack,
oh yeah,
it's just a full stream of water coming out of his mouth. He's just like splashing everyone. Just splashing everyone, and got all this water vomit all over his bed. And late at night, I could hear him just whimpering in his bed, like covered in vomit, water vomit.
Oh, fuck. That poor guy.
I kind of felt bad for him, but I was just so tired. I just passed on, man. I was done for that first day.
Yeah. I almost joined the Army Reserves and then later on the Air Force. When I was going through that, I did all my tests and everything, and it was time to sign. You'll sign your life away for a few years. And my recruiter, I was like, okay, I got to go home, tell my parents, because they don't even know about any of this, what I've been doing on the side. And I'll be back, tomorrow to sign. And he fucking flipped. Dude, he started yelling at me, cursing at me, saying I was wasting his time. And the other guy in the office, he's like, well, nice meeting you since I'll never see you again. And he went to shake my hand, and then he pulled his hand away before he shook. He goes, you don't deserve it. You're not a real man. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, and then my recruiter drove me home, or to where I was staying at the time, because I was going to school to become a horseshoer, and he was driving like 130. I was like, dude, what the fuck? You trying to kill me? And he pulls in, and I go, you know what? I really was going to join. I was going to go tell my parents tonight and then come back and sign tomorrow. Like, I 100% was going to. But after your friend and who did this to me, like, I don't want nothing to do with you guys. I'm going to join the Air Force or something. He was calling me like 5 times a day for like a week. Oh, I'm sorry. Come on, dude. Sign away. It's like, no, fuck you. I want nothing to do with you.
Yeah, and I still get calls from recruiters. I'm in college right now, and I get their emails and calls asking if I want to, join. I'm like, buddy, I'm already in. I'm a higher rank than you, brother. I don't think you can re-enlist me or sign me up.
Yeah, I did my BA, got my college degree. It's like, okay, now I'm going to join the Air Force because I'll get a higher pay bracket, And I weighed like 185, and they're like, yeah, you're too heavy. You got to lose like 20 pounds. What the fuck?
What the hell?
Oh, they didn't even want me. I'm like, okay.
That's pretty strict.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, luckily they didn't tell me to do anything. I just showed up and they said, you look good, go. Like, yeah, I guess so. Those years of struggling for food, finally it's worth something.
Yeah. So where's your first tour? Like, where did they send you first, and what were you doing?
Well, it depends. I did a stint in the desert. It was a 7-month thing, and it was pretty miserable. I mean, people talk about like they gotta go, and they want to go to the desert and wherever they want to get that experience. But fuck that. That's what I got to say.
Was it in another country or was it here?
Yeah, it was in another country in the Middle East. I was like, man, fuck that. Fuck the experience. I don't give a shit. This place sucks. You're locked up with like 300 people and you get to see them for 7 months straight. And you don't like them. That's tough shit because you're stuck with them. So, it was just like, when I got home, people were like, what was it like? Dude, it was awesome. I was like, no, it was not awesome. This shit sucked. And they could keep the medals. It's not, it was an experience.
What was your MO? What did you do?
I was a vehicle maintainer for 7 years, and then I transferred over to radio transmissions.
So you're like a mechanic?
Yeah.
Okay.
A vehicle mechanic in the Air Force. Who would have thought?
And then radio transmissions, what is that? What do you do in that job?
Just set up satellite connections and stuff like that. Pretty boring stuff. Just connect satellite dish to, our internet and whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, provide internet connections to the base and, provide radio operations. Pretty easy stuff. Nothing too wild.
So when you're over there in like the Middle East, is there a time where you would talk to the people there, like the civilians?
Oh, yeah, the locals.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk to them a lot. We need their support. However strong the U.S. is, nobody knows that country more than the locals. So yeah, it was important for us to keep a good open line with them. I also don't want to piss off the locals because that's how you get. That's how you accidentally get shot in the back.
Oh jeez. So, and how did they feel about American troops and stuff?
It depends on who you talk to. I know that the interpreters, they were kind. They liked us there. We provided security for them. But some of the other workers, like the dishwashers and people take out the trash and stuff, those were kind of like a little bit on the sour. I'm not sure if it was because of their job or is it because we were there, fucking their country up.
Yeah,
but
makes sense.
But at the end of the day, I just ask myself, if this was my country, would I be happy having some foreigners here? I don't know. Just depends on.
So you were in the Air Force. You were in the desert. Were you like at an airstrip, or I'm trying to? I don't understand why the Air Force would be there.
Oh yeah, every major base has an airstrip. Whether satellites show it or not, there's usually an airstrip somewhere in there. Yeah, I was located in an airstrip, and our primary mission was, I guess, to provide support for those wounded and stuff, evacuate them, and do all that stuff.
So would you ever do like guard duty or patrols, or were you always on base, always doing like mechanic stuff?
Like 90% of my job was doing my mechanic stuff, and I did get sucked into the security post maybe I think twice a month, those 7 months.
Oh,
And so yeah, it was
so everybody just kind of takes a turn.
yeah, and I mean the way I saw it, it had several levels of security for that base. The way I saw it, if I ever have to use my weapon, it's because we're fucked. If an airman has to use a weapon, it's over, man.
Oh, shit.
Even though we're military, we are not fighters. Kind of like the IT support, I guess, of the military branches.
Oh, really? Other Air Force people are going to be all pissed off at you now listening.
Oh, a lot, I'm sure. And, if there's anyone, looking to join the Air Force, that's pretty much all it entails. You're just support, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Well, to join Air Force, you need to score a little bit higher on your test, right?
F-35s and B-52s, those cost a pretty penny. So, yeah, they want smart people around those. They don't just want, some grunt going around poking stuff around the jets and stuff. So, yeah, we do require a certain level of intelligence.
Okay, so when you are stationed in active duty, do you get days off? Or
yeah, it's like a regular job mostly. Yeah, they say we're on duty 24/7, but we get Saturday and Sunday off, and we can of course apply to go on leave. You get 30 days of leave per year, so it's a nice little gig if you don't mind, showing up on a Saturday for whatever BS reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were some of the other places that you were at? Because you're there for 7 months, and you've been in the Air Force for, 8 years?
Yeah, I think a good chunk was spent in Louisiana and California. Louisiana I was stationed in Barksdale Air Force Base. If you don't know where that's at, that's in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay.
About 3 hours away from Dallas. If you go east. It was not a nice area, I'll tell you that. If you can compare it to anything, it's like Little Mexico. It's pretty run down streets. Potholes aren't really potholes; they're actually considered sinkholes in some countries because they were just so deep. It was awful. And then I think the best assignment I got was Korea, and I did that for 2 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was. Came out of there kind of obsessed with the Korean culture for a little bit, and then slowly waned off, and now I'm full blown American.
So is that what these little symbols on your name is? They're Korean?
Oh yeah, my Discord name.
Yeah,
I made my Discord account in Korea, and I was like, okay, if I delete this name, I will never be able to put it back on because hell, I don't even know how to Google that.
What is this in Korean? What is it?
It's a soju. It's a type of alcohol.
Soju?
Yeah. And if you know anything about American soldiers and airmen and stuff, it's that, we love to drink. And Korea is like the party country or party tour, pretty much. I spent a day sober when I was over there.
Dang.
Yeah, it was wild.
So when you were in Louisiana or California, did you live on base or did you rent a house or buy a house?
For California, I lived on base, and half of my Louisiana tour, I lived on base. They kicked me out of the base because I guess once you make a certain rank, they'll let you rent off base or buy a house, which is nice because the dorms in Louisiana were mold infested.
Oh shit, that's not good.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, they said Air Force had a higher standard of living than the Army, but I'm not sure who said that because I was living with mold in my room.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Makes me want to gag just thinking of that.
Yeah, it wasn't even the nice mold too. It was like the black mold that I was spraying that what's it called, OxyClean or whatever all over it.
Yeah.
To get rid of it. I was like OxyClean my entire door trying to get rid of it.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
So when you were in Korea, those people really like us, huh? The Koreans really like America. So
yeah, I think I want to say 80% of them like us. And then 20% really, really, really hate us.
Then why do they hate us?
Because of your presence there, I guess there have been some well-documented crimes soldiers commit in Korea. I'm pretty because Korea's pretty peaceful. Koreans don't usually murder each other or rob each other at gunpoint. But when a soldier does something crazy like strangle a Korean or something like that, it's national headlines. So it's like it's a real big deal.
Shit.
Yeah, but I think I did encounter one protest that was pretty intense. I was in Busan, which is like the western city, most portion of Korea or whatever. I was in Busan, and this protesters were outside the base, right outside the gates, and our vehicle yard was right next to the fence. So these Korean protesters had grabbed a bunch of rocks and started chunking them over the fence, and they were like damaging our vehicles and stuff.
Oh shit!
Yeah. And the local police, they wouldn't do anything about it because, what can they do? They're not mean. Like in America, if there's a protest and they start chunking stuff, in America, cops will just take care of business. They go down on them. But Koreans, they're pretty peaceful. The police won't go over there and shoot them up and beat them to a pulp. So I guess the protesters just let them be, and we couldn't approach the cars at all because of the amount of rocks being thrown at them. It was pretty crazy.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So you can't even move them out of the way.
No, we were just watching top of the building. We were like, oh snap, it's going down.
So is Korea like all one big city? Is it just like a high tech, like everywhere you go, or is there a lot of country land?
Once you enter the city, there are several major cities, and when you enter the cities, they're pretty high tech. But like if you go out of the city, it's like extremely rural.
Oh wow!
We're talking about mountain towns and like maybe a little 5 or 6 homes, in those mountain sides. It's pretty rural. But once you get in the city, though, it's all jam packed. You got high speed trains. And you got an actual like rail system that actually works. It's not like the New York subway, where it's late or it breaks in the middle of the ride or whatever. These Koreans actually know how to build trains and all this high tech stuff.
Is there like houses and furniture? Is it all smaller? Because I know my cousin's husband did a tour or he was stationed in Japan. And he said they rented a house off base for him and his wife and his kid. And they were all, like, the houses were small. The furniture was really small because he's, like, a really tall guy. He's, like, 6'7". Mm-hmm. He said, like, everything is tiny over there. It was really hard for him to live there.
Yeah, everything is small. The apartment complexes are small. The cars are small. So if you're a tall guy, you're going to have a hard time in Korea. Everything is just built for this like average 5'7" guy. If you're like above 5'9" or 5'10", you're not gonna enjoy your time there.
So I'll be fine then. I'm 5'7.5". I'm good.
Yeah, I think so. I think you'll be fine. Yeah, and then what is it? You know what? The one tech that really impressed me in Korea was the heated floors and the the heated toilets. Because it gets cold up there, man. It's not a joke.
Heated floors and toilets?
Yeah, they got like heated floors, man. Heated wooden floors that just warms up real nice.
Oh,
so you're not stepping on cold wood or whatever.
I never even heard of that.
Yeah, pretty nice stuff. Like, I'm surprised America doesn't have it here in like New York or something, or Chicago or something.
So what is the average temperature? So you said it's cold in Korea? I never pictured it as being a cold place.
It's like, I would compare it to, New York.
Oh, okay.
When it comes to temperatures. There's one exception, and that's the city of Daegu, which is located in like a valley surrounded by mountains, and it's like almost in the middle of Korea, and that area is pretty humid. I'm talking about like Mississippi, Louisiana humid.
Oh, where you're always wet.
Yeah, man. As soon as I stepped out and I'm in this, uniform, it's just automatic sweat.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then in Korea we like to play like war games or whatever, where we dress up as the like we're getting attacked with chemicals.
Oh gosh.
So we have to put on not only our uniforms but our chemical suit.
Yeah.
And I was in Daegu when all this was going down, so it's humid as hell. And I see like people just dropping like flies when we're in formation, getting expected because it's just so hot. People were just not hydrating, and they were locking their knees. People are like just dropping like flies, fainting on the floor and stuff.
Yeah.
Damn this, man! I'd rather just die from the chemical attack.
You had a buddy that was getting married, and he locked his knees and he fainted.
Yeah, that's the one rookie mistake like every boot camp trainee does, is that they lock their knees when they go marching or go standing for a couple of hours. That's one rookie mistake you don't want to do.
Did you get like a Korean girlfriend? Like, what's the social life like for you Army guys? Or you're not Army, Air Force, but you know what I mean?
It's awesome, man. I mean, if you're single and you're down to Korea, oh man, like, okay, Tinder changed the game forever. Like, especially if you're like in Korea, it's just like, oh my goodness. If you're half decent looking, and you know, kind of like, I guess, got a little tone to you, you're gonna do all right if you're over there. My buddy was like, bro, you gotta download Tinder, man. It's wild. I'm like, all right. I downloaded it that night, and I'm like swiping, and I'm like getting all these matches. I'm like, shoot, I never got this in Louisiana or California, and all of a sudden over here in Korea, I'm getting all these matches. I'm like, oh hell yeah, it's time to go down. And you know, I did, you know, spend some nights, you know, in Korea with some girls, but at the end, I think after 2 months, I did end up finally, I guess, meeting a Korean girlfriend, I guess. And we just saw each other regularly while I was over there.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. I got to experience more of Korea than the, I guess, usual airmen, because I guess some airmen are pretty like, what would you call it? Introverted?
Oh, yeah,
they don't like to go out. That's kind of like the airman culture. They're like, a lot of them don't like to go out. They're kind of nerdy. They're into the, I guess, the Magic the Gathering kind of stuff, and they don't socialize. So you know, I did get to experience something else other than that because of the Korean girlfriend and stuff.
Yeah, I experienced their culture more. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she took me to like one of those traditional Korean buildings. Like I'm not sure if you've seen them, where they got like the weird rooftops and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we slept in one of those things, and we had to sleep on the floor. And it was probably the worst night of my life because I had to sleep on that wooden floor, and I was like, I'm not used to this crap. I'm not sure how Koreans do it. Like, no, it's good. It's got heated floors. I was like, that doesn't help. I need some cushion on my back.
That's funny. What did her family think of you? They're like, oh god.
Oh god, the dad hated me so much when I met him. Oh my god, he kind of like said some rough Korean stuff. Like, I didn't understand, but I know it was rough because the way he said it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh boy, he hates me. And the mother was like kind of sympathetic looking. Like, oh god, I'm getting like the sympathetic look from the mother, and I'm getting the angry stare from the father, and my Korean girlfriend's just looking down at her plate, quietly eating. This is a bad first day to meet parents, I guess.
Did she have siblings, or is she the only child?
No, she didn't have siblings. I guess most Koreans usually have like one or two siblings, but she didn't have any siblings.
Yeah, so he's extra protective over her.
Yeah, lucky for me too, because I know if he had a brother, she had a brother, it would have been rough. Yeah.
So what happened with her? You guys still keep in touch, or no?
We do keep in touch occasionally, but I got orders to come back to the U.S. We kind of like broke it off.
Yeah.
I think she knew it was kind of like a temporary thing.
Yeah.
Because I did tell her, eventually I have to go back, and she was still off work, so it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, dude, that's cool.
I showed her a little bit of America, took her to McDonald's, which, by the way, Korean McDonald's is the best McDonald's you'll ever have.
That was her first time there?
Yeah, Koreans don't. Some Koreans don't go to like American restaurants like KFC and stuff. They stick to like Korean barbecue and that traditional Korean cuisine. But I did take her to McDonald's for her first time, and I gotta say, I was impressed myself. I was like, "Damn, these Koreans care about their products." Because
why was it different?
The Big Macs, how they are stacked up and whatever. The Korean workers actually had a tool to line up the the buns and the meat and stuff, so it like looks perfectly aligned.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and the meat, it actually tasted like real meat, like you buy at the market or whatever. It tasted like real meat. And the chicken nuggets, they were like crispy, like fresh. I was like, wow, there's no way I'll get this in America ever.
And did they have actual fries? Because I know some Asian countries do like rice instead.
They did have fries, but they also offered like that weird setup with rice and stuff. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna pass on the rice.
I was watching this documentary last year on Vice, that HBO show, and they were talking about fast food in the Middle East and how all those people have gained like on average like 40 pounds because of McDonald's. Because they'll go there like 3 times a day to McDonald's because it's like a new thing. And to them, because now they have McDonald's all over the place since the war. And they all love it. And they're all getting like super fat. They're getting diabetes. They're getting like heart issues.
Oh, like one thing I did notice in Korea is like there's no overweight people. Like if there is one, it's like a unicorn. Like I would have to point it out to my girlfriend. Like, look, there's a kind of chubby Korean over there, and she was like, "Quit being so rude." But it was just like a rare sight to me. Like overweight Korean in Korea is kind of like a rare sight.
And why is that? Why is it rare to be overweight over there? Is it are they more active or what's going on?
Yeah, I think so. I think my girlfriend said one is the culture. I guess the family body shames their own kids to like, don't be fat and pretty much bully them to not be fat. And then another nice thing that I saw in cities was in all the sidewalks, there seems to be like workout machines, like this crude workout machine that the city built. Like it's like all metal and stuff, but it like you see people actually using them, and it's like, wow, if America did this, then maybe we, have, slimmer people.
Yeah, I went to the college, my first college. I went to the same college as my mom. And she said when she went to college, everybody would do all the workout stations. You'd like do a run around the campus, and every so many minutes there was like a little workout spot. And she said that was everybody did it when she went to college. And when I went to college, I saw this old, this route, and they still had the workout stuff, but nobody ever did it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what went wrong with that. Yeah, I guess this current generation we just don't want to work out, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand why. I mean, shoot, sometimes I just don't feel like working out, I'm over here playing games and stuff. I don't want to get up. But I got to do what I got to do. Or else, I might die of a heart attack considering I only eat like, takeout food nowadays.
Yeah. So what are you going to college for? Are you gonna stay in the Air Force your whole life and just get a higher rank when you get your degree, or what's up?
I'm going to college to get a finance degree or accounting degree, depending on how the semester goes. But I'm already almost at my 10-year mark in the Air Force, so I'm kind of considered like halfway through it. After 20 years, you get your retirement and all that. So I think I'm going to stick it out, and hopefully with the degree I can get a higher rank. If not, I'm good with leaving the Air Force for good. I mean, I already did, I guess, what I feel like I owe it to the country. So
yeah,
I have nothing more to give.
Well, shoot, you'll still be young if you hit that 20-year mark, and then you come out, you'd be like an accountant or something.
Yeah, and that's what I kept telling, like, I kept telling my troops, don't get a useless degree, because after 20 years in the military, you still got work, even though you'll get retirement and stuff. it's it's like what, $1,000 a month. That's not enough to live on.
Yeah.
So I encourage all my the guys I supervise to get a good degree like a finance or accounting or engineering degree. So you're ready to go move on to your next job after the military.
Wow, you're really smart, because all my friends that went to college with me that did accounting or engineering, they got jobs immediately before they even graduated. Like, they were offered jobs. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. Those are really good ones to be in.
Yep. And it's one thing I always preach to my guys. Is just get a degree that will set you up for the rest of your life. Because if you get a criminal justice degree and you go into law enforcement and get hurt, that's it for you. There's nothing else you can do with a criminal justice degree. I don't think. I haven't really looked deep into it, but yeah, get a degree that's useful.
Yeah,
it won't be taxing on your body. You're not working out to just stay in shape and stuff.
So I have a personal question. You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but what rank are you now, and how much do you get paid, and what are the type of benefits of being in the Air Force? If someone's listening and they want to join the Air Force, like you did. So
yeah, I'm in the E6, which is a technical sergeant in the Air Force. Okay. And you get some nice benefits out of it if you're active duty. Of course, you get the GI Bill, which if you live in Texas, gives you $1,900 for rent, and then college is free. So you're like they're paying you to go to college pretty much. Yeah. I paid like $1,000 for rent, and then the $900 I just pay for like my phone and car insurance and stuff like that. So right now it's like I don't even have to work if I don't want to. Other benefits from it, you get like a sense of purpose, I guess, would be a good one, because if you came here illegally and you feel like you owe the country something because you got a green card and stuff, this is what I consider would be a nice way to pay it back. Just do your time in the military, serve your part, and feel accomplished, feel like you did something with your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and other than that, it's just mostly monetary, I guess, that the benefits that the Air Force provides.
And do they pay enough to live on comfortably, when you're in the military? Because I always hear people saying they don't pay enough, and the healthcare kind of sucks.
Yes and no. From E1 to E4, it's just like minimum wage.
Oh wow!
Minimum wage, barely above the water kind of salary. The only thing is that you do get free food and free rent, for free housing throughout those ranks. So, during my time, I wasn't eating out. I was just saving money, pocketing all that money. But, some people got to have the latest cars and, got to have the latest phones and computers and stuff. So they would spend all their money, and then they'd complain to me about not having enough money. And I'm over here in my used Ford Fusion with no debt and all that stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing just fine.
Yeah, you're smart. Is the food good?
Oh, Air Force. Oh yeah, Air Force food is great, man. Surf and turf on Thursdays and Taco Tuesdays, and it's great. But if you're in the Navy, I did have bad experience with the Navy. One time I was in California with the Navy Seabees. If you don't know who they are, they're the construction workers of the Navy. Okay. I was out there with them. And they said, "Hey, let's go to the Navy dining hall." I was like, "Okay." They call it the galley. I'm like, "Let's go to the galley." All right. I was like, "All right." They can't be that bad. These motherfuckers, man. They serve me a potato that hasn't been cooked. This is a raw potato. This is a raw potato, bro. They're like, yeah, isn't it good? I was like, no, man, this thing ain't cooked. This potato is hard as hell. I was like, what is this, man? And I saw on the walls in the Navy galley, the food area, all these awards that they had won. And I'm like, there's no way this Navy cafeteria won any award. I'm over here getting served raw potatoes and runny eggs. There's no way this is any winning cafeteria. So your experience might differ from a branch. I know the Air Force, the food is good in the Air Force.
Yeah, I had some buddies in the Army, and they said they always give you a lot, but it's mostly on the blander side. It's not seasoned very well.
Oh my God, I did have a Army experience too in Korea. Goodness gracious, they can't cook. Good God. I asked for an omelet, and this guy puts a can full of salt on the omelet. I'm like, okay, I'm not sure if it's my uniform that's pissing you off because I'm Air Force, but you don't have to put that much salt in my eggs, man.
Oh, shit.
It's just, Air Force is the way to go if you want some good food. Yeah.
All right, Jay. Well, thank you for being on the podcast. I gotta get going because it's Easter. I hope you have a nice Easter, by the way.
Yep. You too, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later, and I'll send you the links. It'll probably be like a few days because I just did an episode last night, so I'll give that lady a few days to get views because she actually talked about her business, so kind of want to help her get some clients. But I'll post it up in a few days, and I'll send you the link. And if you're ever playing video games, go ahead and hop in, man.
All right, sounds good, man. Thanks for having me.
Talk to you later.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to find out more about Killing the Void podcast, you can visit our website at www.killingthevoid.com. You will find links to download our latest episodes. Thank you and have a good day.